Well, another year is history, and that's why we're here at the Buffalo History Museum.
It is hard to believe, but we are saying goodbye to 2023. Welcome to commUNITY. I'm Claudine Ewing.
And I'm Pete Gallivan, and now you can sit back and enjoy some of our favorite pieces from 2023.
I just remember the feeling that I had coming into the center, and I want to have others feel that same feeling, a feeling, understood, loved, safe. Ever since 514, a lot of people in our city do not feel safe. And so we want to be able to create this safe haven here again, get the trust of the community again, and say our doors are open. And in the meantime, in between time, while we're getting ourselves together, we want you to assist us with doing that too, whatever that looks like.
So now, what's the vision?
The vision is for us to solidify our foundation. We've had tumultuous times. I am the newest leader here. And so setting up systems, making things easier for everyone who works here, and making sure that everyone isn't worn out. We want people to be able to bask in the arts. When we think about the arts, we think about livelihood and bringing just growth and ethnicity and culture. I want to bring that back here. I want to bring that back and let people know that our doors are open.
You had Jackie Mines, you had that come up in the news. Then there was Mr. Pitts, he's not here. And then members of the board who people have said are the problem. So tell me how you're going to deal with any internal conflict.
A lot of times I think people tend to forget what the focus is for the organizations, and they get caught up in that they are the most important thing here. And really, the organization is the most important thing here in the work that we're doing.
There have been some magnificent plays here. What do you want to see on stage here that will attract the masses?
I just want people who feel that they want to utilize the space. Feel free to call us, utilize the space, because that's what we're here for. So far, we've had open curtain season, and the plays have been phenomenal. And it just really goes to show just how cultured we are here in Buffalo, New York, and that when we have a place to utilize our talent, that we're going to do that and that people will come. So my role is, again, to build the foundation, solidify it here for what we already have, and then show them that we're doing well with this so that we can go into bigger and better.
Now, there wasn't a groundbreaking or anything, but the capital campaign is continuing, correct?
Yes. So we utilize some other organizations that have closed down, and there is a process that we want to utilize in order to be able to use any type of state funding. So we have to follow that protocol. We have human libraries here. And being able to see the art that, our drummer, Yusuf, has done on his own. This is his art, that he's done here. And to say that you have an artist here in these floors, they've seen many a feet, many a kneecaps, everything else for people here, but we've utilized this for so much. I plan to be a success here, so I'm looking forward to that.
It was an incredibly difficult book to write, but it was one that has been incredibly rewarding. Considering the response.
Luke Russer, the son of arguably one of Buffalo's biggest backers ever, says writing the book, Look for Me There, Grieving My Father, Finding Myself, forced him to recount and reflect on some of his most painful moments.
Before I even wrote out the journals, I actually wrote down the details of that day, which I had never done before. And part of the reason why I did that is I felt that it would be cathartic, and it was.
But also some amazing memories of his father as he chronicled his trip around the world, a trip of self-discovery. But what he found in the days after the book's release was also a celebration of family. And it came full circle just a few weeks ago when you returned to your dad's hometown, your dad's old neighborhood. Talk to me about what that was like, having put out that book that everyone in South Buffalo bought and has got sitting right next to the Bible in their living room. Tell me what that was like to have that element of discovery as well.
What a day. So that was May 7th, which was my dad's birthday. And we went there on May 7th, a few days after the book came out. And it was just a celebration of the book, a celebration of my dad, but also a celebration of Buffalo,
It also turned into a celebration of his grandfather, Big Russ, who his dad wrote about years ago in his book, Big Russ and Me.
What was so neat about being at the Blackthorn, that was a place that I used to go to with my grandfather back in the day. He was a proud member of the Blackthorn. And when it was all said and done, and we had greeted folks for many, many hours, we went up into the Blackthorn room, and it was there that Pat, the guy who runs the place, he brought out my grandfather's little silver shot glass, and I got to do a shot in honor of Big Russ out of his shot glass, and that was the coolest, probably the coolest part of this entire process of getting the book out there, is getting to share that moment so intimately with Buffalo, but also Big Russ and my dad. I felt those ghosts there for sure.
Buddy, if we're ever separated, just look for me there.
Every single time you go back to Buffalo, it is just so good for the soul.
You never lived here, but do you feel like a Buffalonian? Do you feel like a proud native son?
I can tell you the way I live and die with the sports team, certainly.
And that link goes beyond sports. It goes straight to his core values.
A lot of the themes that are in the book about family and the importance of kindness and work and showing up, those are all born out of Buffalo.
Yeah, what would Dad say about the book?
That's a good question. I think he'd be proud. I don't think he'd like everything, but that's what the difference is between generations, right? But I think more so than anything, it's one of his close friends reached out to me and they said, I don't think your dad could have ever written a book like that because the Irish of South Buffalo are way more buttoned up, but he would certainly celebrate a book like yours, and I agree with that.
And Dad would have also celebrated how Luke wrapped up our talk. Luke, it's been a pleasure. Thanks very much, and congratulations on the book.
I appreciate it. Go Bills.
Estamos del mes de hispanos y para celebrar el Consejo de Gerencia Hispana tuvieron una gran ceremonia para celebrar su nuevo centro cultural. Este proyecto lo han trabajado desde 2019 y por fin van a ver sus sueños una realidad. Now in English, this is Hispanic Heritage Month, and the Hispanic Heritage Council of Western New York hosted its groundbreaking ceremony for its new cultural center. This is a project that they've been working on since 2019, and they're finally able to see their dreams become a reality. State, local, and community leaders say this is a project that will leave an everlasting legacy in our community. Many Hispanic children who are born here today grow up in a more American culture. Esmeralda Sierra and Cash Rodriguez with the Hispanic Heritage Council says this new cultural center will help those children connect with their heritage, but also help other community members learn and celebrate Hispanic culture so that it is present here in Western New York.
What started just as a dream, right now it's becoming a reality. Even though we had to go through COVID and everything that came with it, we still were able to continue the work to make sure that we're here today. It's been a lot of work, a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings, a lot of networking, a lot of fundraising also, and to make sure we get here to what we're today, that finally we can get that first shovel in the ground, and sooner than later, we're going to be opening our doors.
This is very important for the community, and it's the first in upstate New York, and we're very proud of what we're going to build here, so it has an everlasting legacy, not only for our community, Western New York, and the nation.
This center will be the home of many events and cultural activities to promote the Hispanic culture. The project is expected to be done by the fall of 2024.
Coming up next on Community, we continue our reflection of 2023.
And we look back on 514. On Community, we've discussed hair, natural hair, when it comes to women of color. You've heard about the Crown Act, but there's one woman who decided to write a book. It's called Embracing My Black Natural Hair, a guide from a former television reporter who went natural.
She was Esther Miller when she was a reporter at WGRZ-TV. Now married with a son, Esther Dillard's book is eye-opening for some and uplifting for others.
I always had it straightened, and I had to think about the fact that in the professional field I was in, that was not embraced. Using natural Afrocentric hairstyles, braids, or things that will that look Afrocentric, that was not acceptable on the air as a television reporter. Always wonder why other Black women on the air did not wear braids. And it kind of was an unspoken thing, kind of pretty much that's just not the professional way that you'd want to wear your hair. My background was always, when growing up, that, when you wanted to get pretty for a particular event, that you always went and got your hair done straightened or with press and curl. There was a woman by the name of Melba Tolliver. She worked for WABC. She was one of the first who kind of was a television reporter, kind of pushed back on this and wearing her natural hair. About 41% of Black women will straighten their hair for an interview. About 54% of Black women feel that they have to wear their hair straightened and not in their natural state in order to get a job. And that's not just for television, that's for any professional field.
That's according to Dove.com's website.
If there are people that are in power that don't look like me or you, and they feel that this is one way or standard way that they feel is professional looking, then they set that standard. And I think that a lot of women are pushing back against that. We've got now in Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first Supreme Court Justice, who's actually got natural hair. She's wearing the same type of hairstyle that I have, our sister locks. And it's encouraging to other women that are in a professional field, that no matter whether it is a political position, whether it is a business position, whether it's teaching, that you can be able to wear your hair in a natural state and still be professional and still be able to know how to do your job and still be able to do a good job. I hope that people will get inspired to get behind the Crown Act and support other women who are trying to just be themselves in a professional space.
The 2023 Pay It Forward Award ceremony had a theme, passing the torch to future generations. This is part of the Communities of Giving Legacy initiative.
What we're doing is celebrating those individuals, those young people, and those people who care about young people that help deliver and do philanthropy in the community. And so we're recognizing young folk, which is a beautiful thing, about how they give to other organizations in the community.
Sinclair Macklin of City Honors received the Judge Hugh Scott Inspiring Youth Community Service Award. She volunteers at Code Blue Centers and puts together care packages for the City Mission and Mona's House.
I feel like some people around my age are very privileged and they don't realize it. I feel like giving back will help them to realize how privileged they are and help them to appreciate it better.
But I think giving is contagious. When you give to young people, when you give to others, it brings something to you. It allows you to make sure that you are passing it forward. And so our theme today is paying it forward, pushing it forward so that other people can benefit by the generosity of what one person or what a group of young people can give to other people.
Community as a whole, we should all be working together and just helping each other out in time of need.
A bright light is now being shed on one of the bright spots in our community.
The Freedom Wall, a treasured and public art installation in our community.
This month, the NFTA and State Senator Tim Kennedy announced the completion of a month-long project that puts a spotlight on this work of art that celebrates the Black men and women who have shaped our history. The state forked over $734,000 to pay for enhancements to the 28-panel tribute. The project adds LED lighting along with sidewalk improvements.
And tonight we're going to light these figures up for perpetuity's sake and to celebrate them both day and night.
From the hours and days after the horror of 5/14 to now, Thurman and Patty Thomas say many of the emotions remain the same.
I'm sad still, but I'm still angry.
Anger that the Bills Hall of Famer says he tries to channel positively as he and his wife try to lead a movement of sustainable and lasting change.
You say sustainable, I say yeah, sustainable, but also really wide and broad. It can't just be one part of the community wanting better.
Both say they've tried to lead in this way. Moving to the city of Buffalo is part of it. Both point to the rebuilt Tops Market and improved housing, but both say much more needs to be done. Better transportation, easier access to medical and other resources, and above all else, communication.
You don't even realize all of the commonalities and the things that you agree on because people just don't communicate. They don't have conversations with each other and get on a level playing field for change.
I want to see people from Orchard Park. I want to see people from East Aurora, from Williamsville, Amherst. I want to see those people out there because you know what? When something happens in East Aurora, Orchard Park, I'm out there.
But saying that, both community, we need to start coming together for things.
I'm just as passionate about, this right here as I was playing for 12 years here. People look at me like, hey, how you doing? Thanks for doing so much in the community. And I'm like, you're welcome, but I'm not done yet. So that's part of my healing, and I think that part really gives me hope that this can turn around.
It wouldn't be community without music.
That's right, and we are also celebrating the Native American culture and a huge step forward for the Haudenosaunee lacrosse team.
Their ancestors invented the game. They perfected it for a millennia.
Welcome back. Lacrosse is making a big comeback in the Olympics in 2028.
That's right, and there's an effort right now to get the Haudenosaunee, the former Iroquois Confederacy, into the Olympics under their own flag. And they got a huge boost recently, just the past couple of weeks. The President Joseph Biden, said he is in full support of the Haudenosaunee team. The lacrosse world is still rejoicing about the recent announcement that the sport would be included in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games.
That lacrosse is much more than the game. It's much more than us. It has a higher purpose and much more meaning to it.
For the people who introduced the game to the world centuries ago, the former Iroquois Confederacy, now called the Haudenosaunee, it is of particular pride.
In my head, and I could be a little biased, but I see the Haudenosaunee lighting the torch at the Olympics.
Now, despite the announcement by the International Olympic Committee, there is still a long road ahead for the Haudenosaunee team to even be considered for inclusion. There will be meetings with World Lacrosse, the International Olympic Committee, and the member nations themselves, but the dream is one step closer to reality.
What would it mean to you personally to be able to represent the Haudenosaunee in the Olympics?
Everything.
And it's been a dream held by many for many years. I interviewed Tehoka Nanakok during his rookie season in Banditland.
The game of lacrosse, but it means medicine to us. So when the world gets to see that and truly understand the game, there's no limits for what the game of lacrosse can do worldwide, especially at the Olympic level. That it's game-changing.
And other potential Olympians as they prepared for the World Games in the summer of last year.
It's going to be something huge for our people as far as recognition for our sovereignty and our passport rights.
Current Haudenosaunee Nationals board member and former player Rex Lyons has told me over the years that playing under his flag in international competition has been one of his greatest honors.
I felt my ancestors behind me and alongside me. That was makes the hair on your arm stand up.
And when I spoke with him on the phone after the announcement, he said they'll go through the long process ahead. But right now, it is a time to celebrate that this game, that the indigenous people call a medicine game, will once again be highlighted under the glow of the Olympic flame.
When we gonna put the tap shoes back on? What's up with that?
I still got something now.
And she definitely has more.
Well, hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. I see you, the double look, checking me out. It's fine, I did the same too.
Meet
Le Mignon.
She has an EP, Ecstasy, on all streaming sites.
The thing about my music that I enjoy is that I feel like it's just me. It's very authentic. I feel like people who know me or get to know me can kind of connect the dots when they listen to my music. I feel like it's pop R&B. It's very lively, it's very fresh, it's very new. It makes you want to dance and feel however you want to feel to it. The music scene in my family is very strong. Everyone either sings, dances, plays an instrument in some way, shape, or form. My dad is the lead singer of Kool and the Gang.
A few years ago, when her dad, Sean McQuiller, was on Community, listen to what he told his daughter.
I'm extremely proud of what you're doing. Your hustle is pretty amazing.
And now,
Where do you see this going?
I see it going really far. I feel like I see myself becoming one of the best performers out there. I see myself becoming just an all-around mogul, entertainer, businesswoman.
Do you feel you have an advantage because you mentioned what your dad does, so he's seen it all, and that's helped you? Has that helped you?
I feel like it's definitely helped me, yes. I feel like it's definitely helped groom me to just know proper etiquette from just on stage, behind the scenes, just perfecting my craft to the point where it definitely plays a big part today of just my confidence. I feel like nothing can stop me, to be honest.
Lackawanna bred, 25 years old, and ready for the world.
They can look forward to seeing someone of such a pure, raw talent really show the city in a positive light.
Respectfully, her latest song, she wrote it.
Life's not over, you just weren't for me, respectfully. The message behind that song for me, I feel like was more so was all around just knowing your worth.
She represents music of a new generation.
Who's on your playlist right now?
So on my playlist right now, a lot of Summer Walker, girl, love her vulnerability for sure. I love Kehlani, Jhené Aiko, and Snow Allegra.
And I'm just excited to see everybody when they start realizing what you about to bring. It's gonna be amazing.
You're looking like a fool. It's too late 'cause it's over now. You don't know what to do now.
Just stay true to myself, stay true to me. Don't lose myself getting caught up in the midst with everything else and the music and people who put on these facades. Don't let the haters distract you, because one thing about it, I know I'm on the right path. I know God is leading me in the right direction, so I stay true to that.
Nele Mignon plans to release new merch and music.
I want to just continue to put out raw, authentic, good music. Great shows, great production, to make sure I'm giving people nothing but quality across the board. And I can't wait to hit stages in front of people that have no idea who I am, that I can then soon capture as well too.
Music is fun, and we want people to have fun listening and playing it.
We hope you've enjoyed watching Community this year. We look forward to seeing you next year.
Yeah, 2023 was something else. Here's to 2024.
See you then.